and welcome to The Global View, the show where we look at ways for investors to make money beyond the ASX listed universe. I'm your host, Olivia Grace-Curran. US markets fell overnight as trade tensions escalated following US President Donald Trump's new tariffs on Canada, Mexico and China. Wall Street's main indexes ending in the red, the Dow Jones tumbling for a second day. The Nasdaq reversed earlier gains, closing lower. The S&P 500 ended the session more than 5% below its most recent closing record high for the first time since August. The SIBO Market Volatility Index hit its highest since December 20. Citigroup and JP Morgan fell, sending the bigger banks index down. A bounce back in technology stocks, however, helped ease some of the pain, with Nvidia gaining around 3%. Rallies in Supermicrocomputer, Alphabet and Palantir also boosting the index, while shares of car makers GM and Ford dropped around 2% and 3% respectively. Chipotle, which sources about half of its avocados from Mexico, slipped more than 1%. The tariffs prompted warnings from retailers including Target and Best Buy, who also reported their latest financial results. Target saying there will be meaningful pressure on profits to start the year because of tariffs and other costs. Crypto-related stocks rose, with MicroStrategy, Coinbase and Marathon Holdings all posting gains. Tesla's stock fell after data from the China Passenger Car Association revealed that sales of the electric vehicles made in China dropped nearly 50% in February year on year. And shares of Walgreens rose on reports the pharmacy retail chain was nearing a deal to go private. Well, a global trade war has officially kicked off overnight, with the US imposing 25% tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada, along with double duties on Chinese goods. All three countries have announced retaliatory actions, with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announcing a 25% levy on $33 billion worth of US imports, effective immediately. At a press conference, Trudeau said the tariffs were a dumb thing to do by Mr. Trump. He threatened further tariffs on more than $100 billion worth of American goods if the US restrictions weren't lifted within 3 weeks. The action prompted Trump to threaten even more tariffs on Canada. China responded by announcing it will impose additional tariffs of up to 15% on imports of key US farm products, including chicken, pork, soy and beef, and expanded controls on doing business with key US companies. China also confirmed it has initiated legal proceedings with the World Trade Organization over Trump's tariffs. Meanwhile, Mexico's president says retaliatory tariffs are coming on Sunday. Investors are awaiting President Trump's upcoming address to Congress for insights into future trade policies. The market is also on edge ahead of the upcoming US non-farm payroll report amid recent weak economic data. The US 10-year rose to 4.21% from 4.16% on Monday. The yield on the 2-year Treasury held steady at 3.94%. The US dollar has edged lower, while the Aussie has gone a little higher, currently around 62.7 US cents. A big Tuesday reversal in risk markets has seen Bitcoin climb a little higher, currently buying around 87,000. And checking commodities, oil prices have fallen to multi-month lows after reports of OPEC plans to proceed with output increases in April. The commodity under further price pressure from tariffs on Canada, Mexico and China, as well as Beijing's retaliatory tariffs. The session low was $69.75 a barrel, its lowest since September, while gold prices rose, driven by a weaker dollar and heightened safe haven demand amid escalating trade conflicts following Trump's new tariffs. Spot gold pushing 0.6% higher to around $2,911 an ounce. Well, for more on the US market commentator and host of Cow Guy Close, Scott Shellady joins me now. Great to have you back on AusBiz, Scott. So tell us what the reaction was throughout US markets when these tariffs came through.
Well, I mean, it wasn't really a surprise. The market took it as one. He's been running on these things. He was elected to do these things. I think that the market was really more taken aback by the fact that he's got so many irons in the fire. They got a little bit nervous about what he may put on his plate. So at the end of the day, we aren't being treated fairly with. We want to be treated fairly with our own products and all these countries. So if he's going to suffer a little bit of market gyrations and volatility, get back to an even pegging with other countries, well, then so be it. And I think that's what the electorate gave him the right to do. The only two things that I would say that are maybe punitive tariffs would be with Mexico and China because of illegal immigration and the fentanyl problems. But everything else is just trying to make it a fair playing field for the U.S. We've been taken advantage of for far too long. And so he's going to do it like a factory reset, like you do on your phone, to try to get back to normal, where we have a strong trading relationship with everybody around the world. At the same time, we have a strong market.
And what do you make of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's comments targeting Donald Trump?
He was just quoting out of the Wall Street Journal. That was their line. That it was a dumb move. Nobody really wants to upset the apple cart, right? But we're going to have to upset the apple cart if we want to, have people treat us fairly. For far too long, American products have been tariffed in other countries at much higher levels, bringing out a big trade imbalance with us. So if we want to bring that back down to some sort of semblance of reality, we're going to have to either have reciprocal tariffs and to get something back to that would be fair, or no tariffs on either one. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, but I think everybody will see between 4 to 6 weeks from now, maybe at 8 weeks, a lot of this will settle down and it will look a little bit more clear to everybody by then.
And you hosted your show today. You had a few guests on. What were they saying about all this?
Well, I mean, generally speaking, if you're in the markets, you understand that we've been getting ripped off by China. We've been getting ripped off by the European Union. And if we want to do something about it, we have to say, no, this is what's going to happen going forward. You can either get in line or we're going to have to tax your products in this country. Yeah, there's going to be some problems with our car manufacturers. We talked about that on my show. We also talked about the fact that, there are a lot of people that are just used to the Fed printing money and not letting the market go down. Look at the S&P 500 from 2008 and 2009. It basically doesn't go down. It looks as though the Fed said we're not going to let the market correct. So we need to get back to some semblance of reality. We have to do a factory reset on our economy, where we actually react to good economic figures or bad economic figures. We have good, strong trading partners and a healthy economy that's really living on its own, not on the back of the fact that a very accommodative Fed.
And the president is expected to speak this evening, your time. What are you expecting to hear out of his address?
I'm not expecting. I'm expecting him to further bolster his position. There are a lot of people there's a lot of speculation about what he might say about NATO, our continuation in it. There's a lot of speculation about that. I think he's just going to come out there and restate his case. It was a volatile day today. He's going to let people know what his plans are. And again, I still think that the market kind of got nervous because he's dealing with the Department of Government efficiency. He's still dealing with our border crisis. He's still dealing with inflation, and he's still dealing with his energy issues. So all of that together has the market worried about how much can this guy do at one time.
And in regards to the tech stocks, we did see those pushing higher in the session.
Yeah, and I think that's probably going to be one of the things that really helps us out of this problem. Donald Trump's going to have an inflation problem. The tariffs might be a little inflationary in the beginning, and he still has a base outright inflation problem. So he's going to need some sort of productivity or production to help offset that. At the same time, he's going to be pulling money out of the economy because we pumped so much money in over the last 4 years with the last administration. The Department of Government Efficiency, they're pulling money out of the economy. They're taking down the M number. Our money supply number is going down. That's going to be a difficult thing for the economy to do as well. So Donald Trump's got his plate full. Whether or not we can grow our way out of these problems, when we stagnate, we have some sort of stagflation. That will probably all answer about, I think, the next 4 to 8 weeks.
And regarding Bitcoin, it's been a bit of a roller coaster the last few days. However, it has recovered some of those losses.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Bitcoin. I'll put that out there. I don't own it. I don't have any customers in it. Right now, the investment thesis for Bitcoin is that you think that the guy behind you in line to buy it is going to pay more than you did. That's not really an investment strategy for me. So I need to see this thing settle down and become more widely used. I mean, even JP Morgan doesn't talk about it. So look at how volatile that's been. Right now, it's still a little bit of a casino to me. It needs to settle down and trade a little bit more like gold.
Okay, let's talk about Tesla. So those shares are down. There seems to be weak sales globally, particularly in China.
Yeah, they're down on that as well as I think that the fact that Elon Musk put out there this edict about show me the last 5 things you did last week. Again, part of this Doge. Doge has really been the big story here, and I think a lot of folks or investors are worried about how much time he's actually spending with Tesla and SpaceX. So they're going to suffer a little bit because they're worried about just time management and what he can allocate because he has been spending so much time on Doge. So yes, the economic factors of less car sales is definitely going to weigh on things, but also the fact about how much time and what he's really actually doing to run Tesla. That's also been a dark cloud on Tesla stock as of late.
And investors will be looking towards the non-farm payrolls coming out later this week. How important will that be for traders?
That's going to be important because we need to see if we've got any issues when it comes to the labor market. Now, we had some horrible consumer numbers come through over the last couple, 3 weeks. We need to kind of shake those off and see if this economy is doing very well because right now it doesn't look like it's doing very well. So we're going to have to get a great feeling from these non-farm numbers because we just had the Atlanta Fed now GDP come out. February 4th, they were predicting a 4% GDP. The last read was minus 2.3%. We've got another reading on that March the 6th, which is going to be tomorrow. We got a lot of data that's going to give us a good indication about how well this economy is doing. One of them is going to be non-farm jobs. That's huge, as well as that GDP number from the Atlanta Fed.
And with all the geopolitical uncertainty at the moment, what would you be saying, I suppose, to investors, particularly maybe in Australia, who are kind of looking on and just watching and waiting to see what happens next?
Well, I mean, probably from the outside looking in, it looks pretty hectic and chaotic. And I think our stock market traded that way a little bit here today. I think in 4 weeks' time, we're going to have an end to the Russian-Ukraine war. I think within 4 to 8 weeks' time, you'll see that these tariffs between the U.S., Mexico, and Canada, well, that will be taken care of, or at least the heat will be taken out of it. Our Commerce Secretary came out today and said that tomorrow morning he's going to make an announcement on some sort of tariff clawbacks or some good news on the tariff. So I think in 8 weeks' time, when we'll all settle down, the velocity of this trade, or at least the movement lower, is going to slow. And I think that we're getting to the bottom of the barrel here, and it's okay to start, moving some money into the market because this could be ultimately a great buying time if you look back in history and going forward this year.
Great to get your insights, Scott Shellady, coming to us live from the US. And just before we go, getting one final check on where the local market is set to open when trade gets underway. SPY futures are down 78 points. That does it for this edition of The Global View. Stick around, the open is coming up next.